Hi, welcome to Leslie's How to Pool. Today we're going to walk you through how to close or winterize your pool so it's ready for winter. Whether you have an in-ground or above-ground pool, many of the steps are the same, but I'll be pointing out any slight differences in the process along the way. It's also a smart idea to start this process early in the morning since it can be a bit time-consuming. If you live where winter temperatures are above freezing and the weather is mild, you may not have to close your pool, but if you get heavy freezes, you'll want to close your pool to protect it from the harsh weather that can cause you lots of headaches and repairs come springtime. If that's the case for you, you'll want to wait until temperatures are consistently below 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit to avoid problems with algae. Once the weather is right for winterizing the pool, start 1 week before you close your pool by pouring 14 fluid ounces of Pool Magic plus Phos-Free per 10,000 gallons of pool water into the skimmer while the pump is running. This step helps remove any phosphates and break down organics in the water to keep your chlorine working efficiently through the winter. A quick tip for when adding chemicals: if you have a variable speed pump, run it on high speed whenever chemicals are added to the water. Once a week has gone by, you can finish prepping your pool. Use a leaf rake, leaf bagger, or skimmer net to remove any debris from your pool. Then brush and vacuum it. You'll also want to get a free 10-point AccuBlue water test at Leslie so you know all the different chemistry levels in your water. Then it's time to start adding in some chemicals. Remember to never mix chemicals and always wait at least 1 to 2 hours between each chemical application, unless otherwise specified. However, when adding a calcium hardness increaser, don't add it the same day as sodium bicarbonate, which is called alkalinity up, or sodium carbonate, which is called soda ash. First, pour 17 fluid ounces of MetalFree per 10,000 gallons, or 1 liter per 20,000 gallons around the perimeter of the pool while the pump is running. Or add a stain and scale pill and follow the manufacturer's directions. This helps prevent staining and scale issues while the pool is closed. You'll then want to adjust the total alkalinity to between 80 and 120 parts per million depending on the type of primary sanitizer you use. For sodium hypochlorite, calcium hypochlorite, or lithium hypochlorite, you'll want to be at 80 to 100 parts per million. And for dichlor, trichlor, or bromine tablets, you should be between 100 and 120 parts per million. Then you'll want to adjust your pH and calcium hardness levels. Your pH should be between 7.4 and 7.6, and your calcium hardness between 200 and 400 parts per million. Next is adding 12 fluid ounces of Leslie's Algae Control per 10,000 gallons, or 1 quart per 25,000 gallons. It's best if you first add it into a bucket of pool water and then pour the whole bucket around the perimeter of the pool with the pump running. Your next step is to broadcast 1 to 2 pounds of Leslie's Fresh and Clear per 10,000 gallons across the surface of the pool while the pump is running. You do this to oxidize non-living organic contaminants in the water so your chlorine can work more efficiently. Then wait at least 30 minutes before moving on to the next step. Since you've already had an AccuBlue water test and know your chlorine levels, you'll want to bring that to between 2 and 4 parts per million by spreading Leslie's Chlor-Brite evenly over a wide area in the deepest part of the pool with the pump running. Here's a pro tip for you. It takes 3 ounces of Chlor-Brite per 10,000 gallons to increase your chlorine level by 1 part per million. Now it's time to hang out or tackle any looming to-dos while you let your pump run for at least 8 hours, so your pool has a chance to fully circulate. After your pump has been running for at least 8 hours, you'll add a WinterPill to the pool. As with all other pool chemicals, we strongly recommend reading and following the manufacturer's instructions. Once you've added the WinterPill, depending on the type of filtration system you have, you'll backwash or manually clean the filter. Next, shut off the power to the pump with the breaker and remove the on and off trippers from your time clock if applicable. If you happen to live in an area where your pool won't freeze during the winter, you can skip ahead to where we talk about removing non-permanent items like ladders, handrails, and more at this point in the video. For above ground pools, remove the eyeball inlet fitting located on the pool wall and install a winterizing plug in the opening. For in-ground and above ground pools that have a chance of freezing, you'll want to lower the water level. For most pools, this is about 4 to 6 inches below the skimmer or tile line. You'll also need to remove water from the plumbing lines either by draining below the returns or blowing out your plumbing lines with a wet-dry vac or air compressor. If you have an in-ground vinyl or fiberglass pool, we don't recommend draining much water. Instead, it's best to refer to your pool builder or manufacturer's recommendations for the best way to winterize it. To winterize the plumbing, start by removing the drain plugs from the pump housing and volute, filter tank, and the heater. If the pool has a booster pump or automatic chlorinator or any other equipment, drain them according to the manufacturer's instructions. Next, for in-ground pools with a diatomaceous earth or sand filter that has a multi-port valve, position the multi-port valve handle at the winter setting or between any 2 settings. This will partially open all the ports, which allows for expansion during freezing temps. Now you'll take all the drain plugs you removed earlier and place them in the pump strainer basket and replace the lid. This will keep these small parts from getting lost over the winter. For in-ground pools, once all the water has been completely blown out of or drained from the plumbing lines, put winterizing plugs into the return lines and skimmer line. Again, for in-ground pools only, you'll also add into the skimmer 1 gallon of swimming pool antifreeze per 10 feet of pipe to protect your plumbing lines. Then place a skim guard into the skimmer. It's now time to remove all non-permanent items like ladders, handrails, hoses, and over-the-top skimmers for both in-ground and above-ground pools. You'll want to also remove and completely drain your automatic cleaner and lay the hoses out straight in a non-freezing spot. For above-ground pools with small pumps and filter systems, you'll also want to move the equipment to a non-freezing location such as a basement. Of course, this may not be possible for larger pumps and filters. Just make sure they're properly drained and winterized if leaving outdoors. Next, inflate your air pillow and place it in the center of your pool with a tether, connecting it to a stationary object. If you need more than one pillow, you can tie them together using grommets on the corners of each pillow. Now it's time to put on your winter cover. For in-ground pools, fill the water tubes or the water blocks and place them on top of the perimeter of the cover. If you're going to use a safety cover, secure the cover to the anchors using the springs that were supplied. For above-ground pools, secure the cover using the included cable and winch. You can also use wall bags or cover clips to secure your above-ground winter cover if necessary. If you're in an area where your pool won't freeze, don't worry about winterizing your equipment or draining water from the pool. Once you've finished prepping the water, you'll want to install your winter cover and set your pool timer to run the pump between 2 and 4 hours a day. Also, be sure to test your water and visually inspect the pool and cover at least once a month throughout the winter. If the water changes color or the pool surfaces show signs of staining, bring a water sample into Leslie's for a free AccuBlue water test and recommendations. And that's how you close and prepare your pool for the winter ahead. You can also download a set of Leslie's pool closing instructions by clicking the link in this video's description. Or, if you'd rather leave it to the professionals, you can always schedule a Leslie's expert for a complete pool closing service. After all, we want to help you spend less time maintaining your pool and more time enjoying it. Don't forget to comment or hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And for more helpful tricks and tips on pool care, subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit our blog at lesliespool.com.